Sky Sports. Sky Sports with Ford Escort takes you to the heart of the action.
Well, what a week it's been in football. Allegations, resignations, sackings, disputes, and all before we reach the first round of the FA Cup. Well, we did yesterday. In true first-round weather, the dreams and the dramas of the Cup began to unfold. Goals on Sunday brings you the best of yesterday's action in the FA Cup, including an exclusive look at that incredible encounter from the Homelands ground, Beezer Homes League, Ashford Town against Fulham. Also, for the first time, Enfield against Cardiff, drawn in last season's Cup competition at the same stage. Could it be revenge for the E's after last season's defeat? We've got upsets. And we've got the frustrated. And, of course, all the goals and all the best of yesterday's action crammed into the next 90 minutes. Well, welcome to Goals on Sunday. With no Premiership action yesterday, we concentrate solely on this season's FA Cup first round, sponsored by the Littlewoods Pools. And with me to indulge into yesterday's highlights, one of the game's great characters, Frank Worthington. Morning, Frank.
Good morning, Anna.
Well, we saw a couple of your old teams in action yesterday. Bring back any memories for you?
Certainly does, yeah. I mean, there's a guy there who's still going strong at the Kingstonians. Had a great result against Brighton yesterday. Dreadful result for Liam Brady, but he was playing for Leatherhead at the time, and he was making all these. They had a Super Cup run, and he was making all these outrageous predictions at every round, and all his predictions were coming off, you know. And I remember they came up to Leicester. We were in the First Division at the time. There was about 30,000 people in the stadium. On this cup day, and Leatherhead, they actually came up to Leicester, and he'd predicted that he was going to score that day, and they were going to beat us, but and they certainly put the wind up us because they got 2-0 up by half time, and fortunately we managed to get things together after the break, and we came on quite strongly, beat them 3-2, but they certainly gave us a fright, that's for sure.
I can see there's going to be a few stories this morning. And of course, as usual, probably the happiest he's been since joining us this season on Goals on Sunday. Looking forward to the second round draw this afternoon.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And more importantly, of course, England's game against Nigeria, because apparently Venables was at Tiverton yesterday, and I think Glenn Cockrell could be getting a call. Could be getting a call tomorrow, Glenn.
I hate to... yes, we'll not talk about the O's anymore. We'll talk about it later. I'm so used to giving you stick about them. Anyway, on Friday night, the Forks were out to try to drain the rain-sodden pitch. We'll talk about that again in a later. Now, let's start on the first match today, which is Ashford against Fulham. And now, for most participating clubs in the country, the FA Cup, of course, begins in August. Well, already, though, in this year's competition, there have been 540 games, believe it or not, and 1,844 goals. And during today's programme, we're going to bring you the most comprehensive round of yesterday's action, including another 63 goals. We're going to start with a game that included all the ingredients of a typical Cup match. Well, on Friday night, the Forks were out to try to drain the rain-sodden pitch, as you've heard. Before the match yesterday, sand was spread generously to absorb the excess water on the surface, the conditions refusing to dampen the support of the locals from Kent. Well, the Ashford dressing room was rather buoyant, preparing for their first match in this round in 20 years, the year that Fulham got to the final.
Make the most of it, Tuesday.
All the ingredients for a Cup classic. Your commentator is Martin Tyler.
Ashford Town, all part-timers. Goalkeeper Maurice Munden plays only his third game for the club. He's on loan from Dover. The Pearson brothers, Andy and Ricky, the two centre-backs. The side strength really in attack, where number 8, Nicky Dent, returns after suspension. Mark Stanton already has 18 goals this season, 7 of them in the qualifying rounds of the FA Cup. Fulham under Ian Branfoot, a mixture of junior and senior full-time pros. 2 teenagers, Michael Meissen in midfield and Robbie Hayworth up front. 6 in their 30s, including Kevin Moore, a quarter-finalist with Southampton, Mickey Adams, a semi-finalist with Leeds United, and Alan Cork, an FA Cup winner with Wimbledon back in 1988. And Ashford set the ball rolling straight away with Stanton. An indication of the potential and the problems. Mark Stanton, who's quick, coming to the right-hand side, got in behind Fulham then and couldn't put any sting into the cross. The pitch will have played a part in that, as it did in holding the ball up for him in the first place. Well, the chairman of Fulham Football Club will be saying, of course, the pitches were like this all the time when I played. Hayworth, who had the first shot that rolled loose, invitingly it seemed for Alan Cork. The invitation couldn't be accepted in the end. Well held by Maurice Munden, the on-loan goalkeeper. The header was from Blake, but the ball rolled tantalisingly for Alan Cork a few seconds earlier. The rain is still coming down very heavily. Ross keeps it in. Finnegan is the defender. Jeff Ross again. Finnegan bringing his place to the tenacity of his tackling, really, because Ian Branfoot has recognised in the scouting that Fulham have done on Ashford that Ross is perhaps the major worry. Lemoyne. Arter, Stanton, Arter, there's a chance for Ashford here, there's a goal! Dave Arter! In the 19th minute! Well, Dave Arter went for the first header, glanced it on, Stanton tried to take it on, but it ran back for Arter, and what a good finish for a player who's noted here for his ability in the air, and they're a bit disparaging about his work on the ground, but this was splendidly taken for Ashford Town. Stopped on the line there for Finnegan. Marshall. Meissen. Hayworth not given time to make up his mind as to what he was going to do. It's crossed in though by Finnegan. Cork, goalkeeper in trouble, got there once and twice as the ball bounced up when he might have been forgiven for thinking it would just die in the mud. But it's the wise old head of Alan Cork here, and some determined goalkeeping by Munden again. Well, it's been a cracking performance from Ashford Town over the first 45 minutes, roared on by supporters, many of whom perhaps are seeing the side play for the first time. Hayworth is now sporting a plaster to his forehead after that clash just before half-time. Marshall climbing for it, might drop for Marshall. Appeals here, Cork is there, players going down. And he does so right alongside. No complaints from Fulham that they've only got a corner. Meissen hoisting it in. Marshall fighting for his own knockdown. And somehow Ashford got enough bodies in there to block the threat. Skimmed the top of the bar, the near post corner. Good start to the second half for Fulham. And Hayworth very close. Arter. Difficulties for Moore, but he got it away the second time. It's given away there by Cork. Stanton. There's a chance here for a second. Now Stannard came roaring out of the area and blocked it with his body. There were no appeals from the Ashford players as if there was a handball there. The referee again, as he's done throughout this game, had kept pace with the attack expertly, but it was that threat of Stanton again, in behind Fulham. Jim Stannard charging out here, having to go for it. Right on the line of the penalty area. Big goalkeeper did well, used his formidable frame. Adams. Dyson has beaten to it. The break is on again. And Stanton keeps threatening to get away. Jump. Gives away a free kick and was in danger of perhaps being punished more heavily. That was getting a bit heated. And Stanton just stopped in the nick of time by Jupp, first of all. And the whistle went for the second challenge. Ross takes. Oh, surely! Dent! 2-0! Pandemonium breaks out here. The free kick pays off for Ashford. Just under 20 minutes to go. Jeff Ross took it. And here is Nicky Dent. And Fulham have been forcing the pace in the second half. Find themselves 2 down. A great header back by Arter and a classy piece of finishing from Nicky Dent. No offside. Stanton. Oh, there could be another one here. Oh, the inside of the post. That would have settled it for sure. Already a scorer in this game. Cursing misfortune this time. It was a terrific try against the inside of the post. Look at that. Back across the face of the goal and out. Adams trying to play it forward there with a certain amount of thought. Morgan. Oh, penalty has been given. A penalty to Fulham, given against Andy Morris, as Kevin Moore here decided just to give it a go further forward. And Morris, in the mind of the referee, a little bit late. Fulham, a chance to pull it back to 2-1. Mickey Adams, who scored in the last 2 games for them, scores again here. 2-1, and a really frantic finish now. High beyond the dive of Munden, who's had a very good match, but couldn't get anywhere near a perfectly placed penalty from Mickey Adams. Marshall. Corner for Fulham. The fight well and truly on now. When you think Nicky Dent hit the inside of the post, that would have made it 3-0. But at 2-1, These are tense moments for Ashford Town. Appeals for another penalty, and it's given for handball. And Ashford go crazy here. A second penalty for Fulham in a matter of moments. He was well placed, I must say. And that is given as handball against Andy Pearson, I think. It's been a great game so far for Ashford, but in a matter of minutes, it's being turned on its head. Mickey Adams looking for the equaliser. He's got it! The other side, but the same end for Fulham. 2-0 has become 2-2, sensationally. London going the right way, but it was stumped in. Durso controversially staged the game here on a soaking pitch, and then controversially gave Fulham 2 penalties in 2 minutes late on, both wrapped away by Mickey Adams under pressure when Neil Cugley and his crew seemed to be sure of a place in the headlines for an FA Cup upset.
I have to ask you about the way the game finished with the 2 penalties in quick succession.
Yeah.
Can you just talk us through the 2 incidents as you saw them?
As I saw them, the first penalty, I can't say who it was, but there was one of the Fulham players was attacking just on the left-hand side of the penalty area. He nicked the ball in front of a defending player, and as I saw it, the defending player then just took his legs. The second incident, one of the players took a shot, and a defending player comes sliding in. The ball was going towards the goal, and he had his arm up, and the ball went to arm and arm to ball. I had no hesitation at all.
I don't think there's one player that let the club down, and that'd be a great thing for them. And we're going to go to Craven Cottage, obviously, full of confidence.
So have you seen something in Ashford today that's going to make sure you keep your players on your toes?
I think we saw enough today. I think our back four saw enough today to know that if they crash it over the top of them, they've got pace to get on the end of it. Albeit the conditions helped them today, but you can never say that the tyre's dead.
And now you get to referee the replay.
Yes, yeah, that's another day, so...
Some Ashford fans.
Yeah, that's right.
Something tells me he's going to get a rough ride in the replay as well. Well, Ian Branfoot mentioned the conditions there. Do you think they favoured Ashford, Frank?
Well, I mean, it's who adapts better on the day, isn't it? And Ashford certainly adapted particularly well, I felt, and scored 2 very good goals. Excellent goals, well worked for the conditions, and here we got the first one. The ball's knocked up into the box. The conditions actually play a part in this goal because the ball gets stuck here, down, and the Ashford player comes through with it, tucks it away nicely just inside the near post, but that was a good goal.
He took it well, didn't he? And then the second one came just after the break.
This is great control. His first touch was super, just away from the defender, and rifles it in the back of the net. Super goal, and they're also very unlucky with a couple of other chances, Ashford, that they created well under very difficult conditions, of course.
And perhaps then, understandably, when the penalties were awarded against them, they got very upset about them. Do you think there was any doubt about the first one?
Well, certainly, I think Fulham were can feel themselves very, very fortunate to get these decisions, because for me, the defender attacks the ball here, and he has committed himself, and the Fulham player actually fell over him.
And it must be very disappointing for them, having been 2 up, to then lose two penalty decisions late on.
On this one, Anna, the ball, it's in such a tight situation that the ball maybe had just caught his arm, but I think Ashford consider themselves very unfortunate to come out.
Well, we heard the referees explanations of both decisions there. He's going to get a rough ride in that replay, isn't he? Do you
think
fancy
quite-
Ashford to go through?
Well, I mean, it's going to be a different proposition when they go back to Craven Cottage.